Hi, welcome to Beth Cooks the Internet. I'm Beth Sudi, and this is our very first episode. Today I'm going to be making a Oaxacan black mole. This recipe is from Rick Bayless, and it takes 26 ingredients. I had to go to 4 different websites to find them all, but I'm ready to cook. These are mulatto chilies. Up next are ancho chilies. Up next, the pasillas. We're going to need a 1/4 cup of seeds for later in the recipe, and it looks like we're going to have plenty. Our next ingredient is lard. We're going to get 1/2 cup of almonds, 1/2 cup of peanuts, and 1/3 cup sesame seeds. So the garlic I got in a pre-peeled bag, so I just pulled out 6 cloves. They're ready to go. And now I'm going to chop up the onion. Up next, 1 plantain. 2/3 cup raisins. Looks like we're into the spices now. So we need cloves, peppercorns, cinnamon stick or canela, Mexican oregano, marjoram, and thyme. Our next ingredient is 1 tomato. Our next ingredient is 3 tomatillos, 1 corn tortilla. It's ready to go. Also, we need to use part of a baguette. The next ingredient is about 7 cups of chicken stock, which I've got just sitting over here, thawing out. The next ingredient is the famous Mexican chocolate. Our next ingredient are avocado leaves. Okay, our last 2 ingredients. First is sugar, and finally salt. Just regular old salt. That's it. 26 ingredients, and we're finally ready to start cooking. First up is toasting the chilies. I'm gonna get my largest 12-inch cast iron and do these in batches and just toast them on both sides. These smell amazing. I'm gonna submerge these in water and soak them for 45 minutes. Now we're gonna toast the seeds until they turn black and get a little oily as the oils are released. Then we're gonna set them on fire. And then when the fire goes out, we're gonna rinse off the ash, and then they're ready to go into the mole. Okay, the next step is pretty straightforward. We're just gonna take our spices and herbs and buzz them up. Up next, we're going to toast our almonds and sesame seeds. These are just going into a dry pan, and I'm gonna stir them around until they get nice and toasty. All right, now we're going to toast the sesame seeds. Chilies are gonna hang out here, and we're going to retain this steeped chili tea for later use as well. Okay, let's cook the onions and garlic. In go the plantains. We're just gonna cook them for a couple minutes until they're nice and brown also. These are gonna get puffy and brown, and it should take about a minute, and then they're coming right out. Next, we're going to broil the tomato and the tomatillos. We've got the bread and tortilla loaded up onto the same pan, and now these are gonna get toasted just like the tomato and tomatillos. So we've upgraded our seed, fruit, and nut mixture into a bit of a larger bowl, and now I'm gonna add 3 cups of chicken stock. It's time for the blender. First up are the chilies. We're gonna do them in 2 batches with a little bit of the reserved chili water that they were soaking in to get the puree going nice and smooth. Next, we're gonna blend up the seed and fruit and nut mixture. We've finally got our chili puree and our fruit, seed, and nut puree, and we're ready to go back to the stove and cook. First, we're gonna put in a 1/4 cup of the lard. So we're gonna cook this until it gets dark and gets the consistency of tomato paste. And we're there. Our next step is to add the other puree and cook until about the same consistency again. It's time for the ingredient that everyone associates with the mole, and that is the chocolate. And along with the avocado leaves and 4 cups of chicken stock, and then it's ready to cook until it's done. Okay, it's a new day. Don't worry, we didn't actually leave the mole on the stove overnight. We let it cool, put it in the fridge, and started cooking again first thing this morning. As you can see, it's gotten a lot thicker, a lot darker, and let me tell you, it smells amazing. So from here, I'm just gonna add a little bit more sugar. I've tasted it, it's got a little bit of bitterness in the back, so I'm gonna add sugar 1 tablespoon at a time until it's perfect. Everything's done, now I'm gonna serve it up. The star of the show is the mole. I'm gonna be serving it today with chicken thighs, and as a side, we're serving it with some Spanish rice. First, the rice, then a piece of chicken, and finally some of our mole. And there we have it, chicken with Oaxacan black mole and Spanish rice. Thanks so much for joining me on my very first episode. There's a lot more to come, so don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out BethCooksTheInternet.com for links to all these recipes.